How different could Austin and Denver really be? If you're a millennial or a Gen Z, then you've likely considered moving to one of these two cities within the last 10 years. I was one of them. But how different are they? And what are some things to consider about the two? So let's dive in and decide for ourselves. And let's start with their populations. Austin proper is a little bit bigger with 950,000 people versus Denver's 711,000. But Denver's metro population is bigger than Austin's, with 3.3 million people versus Austin's 2.5 million people. But when it comes to growth, Austin has seen an immense amount of growth compared to Denver. When you look at these two graphs, you'll see that Austin's graph is rising to the moon, whereas Denver's growth isn't even keeping up with the nation's. Colorado, on the other hand, is growing like crazy. Regardless, Denver's market is larger at this point, but I'm curious to see when or if Austin will surpass that. When it comes to housing, the median housing value in Austin is $545,000 versus Denver's $638,000, which is interesting because when you compare incomes, Austin barely edges Denver out by $500. Austin's median household income is $86.5 thousand, whereas Denver's is $86,000. So they have virtually the same income, but Denver has a little bit more expensive housing, which is definitely something to consider. The difference in housing definitely has something to do with density though. Denver's density is 4,600 people per square mile, whereas Austin's is just under 3,000 people per square mile. And a reason for this is that the land area for Austin is about 2 times the size of Denver's. And when there's more people compact into an area, there's going to be more demand for housing, which is going to drive up prices. Moving along, in terms of diversity, they're pretty similar in their diversity spread. Same situation with their education. They're very similar. So I would say the biggest takeaway from this is that Denver has a slightly higher cost of living than Austin, and that's when you consider home values to income. But they're not too far off from each other. They're very similar cities with gorgeous outdoorsy places to explore nearby. So a lot of the differences between the two are up to you to decide. All the data used was sourced from Merces.com, and be sure to follow to learn more things like